he possibly could. And again, I still think that ppgod, despite a couple of missed positions, had a pretty decent time on the Thresh. They're not going to look to prioritize this time around. No, they're going to give Rookie the Viktor, so they're opting into a much more favorable matchup into the mid lane and possibly giving over that Thresh Aphelios into the bot.
Yeah, it feels like they wanted a bit more in terms of way off in the mid lane. I feel like we could see top esports just go Aphelios first here. The Corki is something in mind, right? If they let the Corki go to second rotation, they'll probably get banned. And I think Rookie may be feeling himself that he didn't have as much impact as he would have wanted to compared to what he could have had on the Viktor. So we'll see. I think Aphelios is going to be the lock-in, and it comes down to this one, right? Do you want the Corki more? Do you want the Thresh more? I feel like if you leave the Thresh open, V5 can just snatch it up, but they also need to think about they want a jungle pick. So see what they end up opting for. They end up locking in the Corki, so safe mid laner, right? Not gonna have as much pressure early as the Viktor, but definitely scales extremely well. Long range threat as well. And V5, you want to take Viego? You want to take a jungle pick now, or do you want to end up going for the Thresh to give that safety net? And honestly, you have a Viktor and you have a Jinx, so that could be a thing. But actually, they're opting to go for Nautilus. They want an aggressive pick to punish the lane matchup, offer more threat to things like Corki. I think you just ban. I mean, they know it. A lot of supports are willing to pick Nautilus into Thresh, but I still don't think you want to give it over to top esports. Top esports, you can ban Viego, right? You can ban a range of junglers. The Rek'Sai, which you banned last time, is now left open, so a lot of options there. You could also look towards top laners. Potentially Gwen could be a concern. Remember, V5 get choice of pick on that fourth pick, but also can counter pick if they want.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing right now. They're going to start banning away junglers. I would not be surprised to see the Viego banned away alongside the Talon. I still think, I 100% agree with you. I feel like you have to take away that Thresh. No, they're going to get rid of the Rakan. So Thresh, very much an option available. Maybe they're just saying that, look, Zhuo, we don't feel like you're the problem here. We don't feel like your Thresh is going to be the big difference maker. And honestly, I think for most people's, idea of JackeyLove, if JackeyLove's away from the fight, then no one's really going to care about you know, kind of what he's able to do, because he's not, you know, running into your face at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
That's really weird. The top esports banning the Jace, that kind of just sets V5 to pick like Gwen in that fourth pick, right? Yes. They don't have to pick the jungler now because it's going to come later. The Kennen is another thing that we've seen into the Gwen. Obviously, Gwen, I think, is still okay with that matchup. You can kind of tank the poke out with Doran Shield and Second Wind. But in terms of support, you know, Nautilus is picked into Thresh a lot. You can punish the matchup. Also, when Aphelios gets in range, you just ult him, right? But still, like, even matchup regardless, I still think Thresh is the pick here. If you want to really punish in favor of top esports, Leona is a good pick into Nautilus. Can obviously go toe-to-toe with him in melee range. So we'll see what top esports want. If they want more engage, if they want more lane power, it'll be Leona. If they want the safety net, it'll be the Thresh.
Yeah, I will say for Zhuo, it is the last time he did play the Thresh was against WE. It was the one game they lost in that particular series, so not feeling super confident.
Never pick it again.
Yeah, one game lost, never again. It's not good enough. But yeah, like, you know, goes with the Leona this time around and looking to just go like for like in that hard engage in the bot side. And now for Karsa, what does he want to go into it? I actually quite like the Poppy coming into this. It stops a lot of the dashes and escapability from the Corki and even the Zhao from getting on top of people. I actually really love this pickup from Karsa.
Yeah, and Poppy's a weird one because we don't see it too much, honestly, but there's a lot of matchups where it's like specifically really good with how it interacts with them. Like Zhao needs to dash in, you can block that. It can obviously knock a Kennen away, which is very useful. You can also just charge into him and pull him away with you. Good against the Leona Zenith Blade as well. I don't think this isn't a draft from top esports where I look at it and say, oh my god, Poppy's amazing here, but there is some use for it and we'll see how it ends up going. Might struggle to really deal with JackeyLove, but either way, right, V5, they have Photic on the Jinx again, they have Rookie on the Viktor, they have the Gwen in the top lane. I think they're pretty comfortable in that regard, but once again, both teams, a lot of scaling options. However, top esports with the Zhao in the early game definitely puts them in for a good setup. They can definitely start to facilitate things off the back of that.
And I think the big thing as well you're looking at right there is that the Kennen flanks with a slicing Maelstrom can be massive. You don't have protection for Photic on the same scale as you did last game. You don't have the Lantern. You don't have ways of getting him like 1,000,000 miles away from the enemy carries. So if Zoom can get behind the enemy lines, get a TP flank or even just a regular flank and jump on top of these very immobile, you know, AD carry and mid laners, it could be disastrous for V5. For Top Esports, as you said, it's about those early game jungle moves from Xiaopeng and making this work with the scaling of the Corki and the Aphelios. We'll see how it works for both of these teams. Both AD carries back on their respective picks as they were in game 1, but the composition is just slightly different. We're going on to Rift. Where do you want to see the early aggression, if you want to see any at all, or are we expecting, like game 1, just farm it out, trade off the games?
I want to see activity, right? From Top Esports, I am looking towards bot lane, right? You have Leona, who's really easy to set up with. Aphelios has more pressure than Jinx and lane in phase. And you have a Zhao. You should make things happen in the bot lane. On this side for V5, I think it's kind of a factor of mitigating pressure. But you're going to have mid priority. Oh, Rich.
Rich flash in on top of him, and that's him dead. Yep, no flash on the Gwen, and that's first blood going over the Corki. Probably not the most climactic, or a very anticlimactic start to this game, and yeah, just didn't respect the fact that a Leona level 1 is just very powerful.
Yeah, and given any early advantage of the Corki, definitely not what you want to do. I think he can actually just reset and buy a tier right now. Yeah, he's gonna. So, oh, it's the perfect start. You have the AD off the longsword as well as the triple pots, and then you also have the tier. So it's actually pretty substantial overall, that start, and a mistake from Rich there. We asked the question at the start of the series, Rich or 4, and it's looking a little bit on the poorer side right now. But yeah, Top Esports, I want to see them playing towards bot. I think that's the avenue you could really look to punish. V5, I think Karsa, I think, if you can sort of establish vision control around mid, Rookie can spread that advantage to the side lanes.
Well, great start there for Top Esports. A fantastic start here for Knight, and we'll see what he's able to make use now as he has that early scaling, early stacking of the tier. Means he's going to be able to have his Mana Mune and Mirror Mana very, very early in this matchup. Thumbs up in the bot side. Photic got an auto attack off, but yeah, having the reset and start off on the red means that they knew, and they had vision on it, so they knew exactly what was going on. They get themselves back onto the map, and it means that the early push does belong to the side of V5. So again, lots to talk about in terms of this, setup for everybody. I want to see what Rich can do. Like we mentioned, wasn't really that relevant up until about 40 minutes, as we do see a hook coming in. Zhuo going to take a little bit of a harass on that bot side. But yeah, I want to see Rich do a little bit more. Unfortunate start to the game, but he is not going to lose a lot out of it, so he should still be able to have some kind of impact.
And I think Rich needs to be like a relevant threat, right? Because if Corki's just able to poke your backline without really being threatened too much, I could see Top Esports really being far and ahead in terms of team fights. But if Rich can start to be a threat on the backline, find flank angles, find good opportunities to approach, that's when it suddenly becomes like the dynamic shift that becomes problematic. So see how that ends up developing. Right now, the junglers just kind of clearing through. Zoom has this set up with a pretty stacked wave, but I'm not sure they'll be able to get there in time to dive or act on it. It should just crash in and Rich will be able to pick it up.
We have to come back to what this game is all about. We mentioned at the top of this series that Rookie and Knight are the big guys coming into this one. I think our expectations have shifted a little bit towards Photic and JackeyLove, but I think that's just the natural progression when you have these AD carries that look for resets, that look to try and just make those big AoE ultimates, make, the most out of their teams. But right now, V5 will still be looking to Rookie. We saw in their last series how pivotal and how honestly just straight up important he was to them getting that win. He basically put the team on his back and was able to make this work. And we looked at the replays. We had a bit of clips from him as well. It was something that he just was piloting so perfectly in that last series they played against RA. So I want to see him do it again.
You see them fishing for a play on the bot side. JackeyLove steps up too far. They may just end up going for it. They're looking now.
Yeah, they're going to go in. The flash has been burned. They're going to get the Poppy in there with a steadfast presence. That's going to be the kill going over to Karsa. They'll get the reset. They're going to be able to get Zhuo underneath the tower. Can they tank this up? One more auto attack would do it, but they're not able to get him. They tank up quite a bit. They will get all the summoners out of that bot side, but still, one for none. It's still advantage to V5.
Yeah, they managed to capitalize on JackeyLove, catch him out, and both summoners burned, so they saw advantage. And I said I wanted to see Xiaopeng showing up bot lane first. I wanted to see him making the impact. Karsa ends up being the first one to reach him with a nice little curve around play, because the thing is with Poppy, she's only ever useful if you're behind a target in terms of setting up ganks, right? If you're either behind them or you can knock them into a wall. If you're running straight at them, it's just never going to work because you'll just knock them obviously deeper. And we can see that's kind of how it panned out here. You see ppgod makes the right decision where he waits as long as he can. He flashes to auto. JackeyLove flashes as well, but because he's been autoed, he's already rooted, allows him to follow up. And then ppgod still has the dredge line, but Leona just a little bit too tanky.
Just a little bit too tanky. Couldn't quite get the kill down. And look at the sword shop that Top Esports have got themselves. Plenty of long swords there in their inventories. And look, that's the difference. The assist versus the death means that you go back to lane as JackeyLove with 2 long swords and a dagger versus a fully completed High Noon Quiver here for Photic. And we'll keep an eye out on those item builds. Is it High Noon Quiver or is it just Noon Quiver? Oh, my bad.
I like that better. I like High Noon Quiver better, right?
It just sounded a little bit more epic, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, when you have the race, like when you have the High Noon skin for like Lucian, it should be the High Noon Quiver.
Should be, just for any like High Noon Senna, High Noon Hecarim. I don't know why you'd be building on Hecarim, but why not?
Honestly, if anyone built Noon Quiver and Hecarim in my game, I would totally respect it.
Yeah.
Clearly that person's trying some stuff. But
they're limit testing. They're experimenting. They're the people who come up with the Ken Tank Akali builds. You know, not me.
Dude, Gale Force Hecarim, man.
That would be kind of scary, to be honest. Just having a horse just like gallop that little bit more to you, like just get on top of your face would be a little bit scarier, shall we say. But again, coming back into the game, 6 minutes onto the clock. It is a Ocean Dragon, the first one to be going for. I want to see FG's is the Poppy around the Drake. I don't know if they're starting it up just yet, or maybe they're just clearing the vision, but with the pressure they have on bot side,
yeah, they have prior bot, they have prior mid. They should just be able to move on this and capitalize. There's nothing really to take on the other side, so V5 can take this, but the problem is because they're using up the prio essentially. If you think of it like a resource, they might be slower on the reset to go towards Herald. And already with Scott on the top side, Xiaopeng, I think you can look towards that one. You see top lane, seen Zoom have a pretty solid advantage there, built up CS lead over Rich and has gone for this reset. Rookie, I mean, this is kind of what, this is why the Viktor into the Corki matchup, the Viktor's really comfortable because you can apply that pressure on lane and just chunk him out whenever he steps up.
Yeah, you can chunk him out, get him into a position where he either has to go back or just cannot contest at any real objective. We are going to see Xiaopeng, though, recognizing that the Dragon was taken very early. It's going to take a very long time for Karsa to do that, so gets himself a red buff steal, has his upgraded smite now, so up to 900. Good for him. Still one more stack there for Karsa, so not quite going to have it just yet. And we are seeing Knight, very little mana, and his health bar dwindling, so he's going to have to use the Valkyrie, the last of his mana pool, to get himself out and get himself back onto the map as quick as he possibly can. No teleport, but not really that big of a deal. No real objective to take for at least a little bit.
Yeah, 30 seconds on the Herald. We'll see if teams opt to make a move towards it and whether the supports can find an opportunity to roam up. Right now, you can see Zhuo and JackeyLove are the ones with the priority in the bot lane. And you kind of have to respect it as Nautilus, right? If you go in against the Leona, her Q is on such a short cooldown, she will just win the extended trade, right? You really have to burst someone out quickly to come out ahead. But for now, they're kind of just respecting that. So I think you push this in. You can have JackeyLove reset and buy if he wants to, but the main thing is that Zhuo can now reset and head toward that top side if you want to prioritize that Herald now. You can see recalls coming in from Knight potentially, because he will have his pack. Actually, Karsa might be caught here.
He's a little bit, he has got the ultimate there, so should be able to use it to try and get people away from him. Yep, pop. Will a bit of whack-a-mole, keeps himself safe. Just like a lot of damage on his way out, but wasn't really in any real danger. Had the flash in the back pocket should he need it, so able to use that hammer to very good effect.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not really anything burnt, right? You just burn your ultimate. He's a little bit low, but as a jungler, you just use smite to get back up if you need it. And generally, both teams just taking this one slow as you go, right? Trying to build up any incremental advantages. Top lane's got a pretty big chest lead. Mid lane, Rookie is substantially ahead of Knight. And it is, to an extent, expected in the matchup that he'll have a lead, but this is quite substantial for how early in the game it is.
Yeah, 20 CS is pretty huge. And we can see why the side of V5 had such a priority on this for Rookie. And now, with being able to push out into the bot side, they're getting pressure in this bot lane. That's going to be a turret play or two. And even ppgod saying, look, I'm level 6. You're not, Leona. I can continue to push it on this, but there is a package available for Knight. Won't have it synced up with the Dragons, so you're already in the bold corner in Ox's books. You got to play this very carefully now, Knight. You're on a thin line.
It's fine, it's fine. I don't mind. The first one syncs with the Rift Herald because the 8-minute Rift Herald is really important, and then you like resync it with the Dragon later. But either way, I like this play from Top Esports, right? They send Xiaopeng up to the top side, and then the standard response from V5 is, okay, they're going for Herald. We will aggress on the bot lane, but the package dissuades that, right? JackeyLove and Zhuo back off a little bit, but then they know the package is backing them up. They don't miss that much. They only lose one plate, and they manage to get the Herald on the end. So it's a smart play that garners them that advantage. It doesn't give V5 room to really capitalize, and now we get to see where Xiaopeng will look to use the Herald.
Yeah, see that pressure. My mind took a little bit of a lag there. I thought Photic was level 8, and I was like, wait, what? How is he 2 levels ahead? This makes no sense, but wasn't to be. Just my eyes deceiving me and my mind telling me what I want to see. You create your own situations, your own narratives. As we now see, with a minute 30 until that dragon spawn, it is a Hex Dragon, so we'll have the choice between a Mountain, Infernal, a Hex Drake, and a Cloud for the next fight. So V5 setting themselves up around there, seeing if they can get some deep vision. And honestly, getting those first 2 early Drakes could be crucial. We saw how pivotal the last, Dragon Soul was, and how important it was for Top Esports to be able to take that win. It could be just as impactful.
Absolutely, especially you start stacking them up early, having it at, getting the Dragon Soul available at an early point puts a lot of pressure on your opponent to always fight every dragon, always contest it, always make sure they're securing and not giving an opportunity. And we saw, I mean, Chem Soul is obviously an exaggerated dragon because of how broken the soul is, but even then, standard Dragon Souls are still pretty impactful. They're just not quite as broken as that one was, and how impactful it was in that game.
Not quite as, I love all my children equally, but some more equally than others.
I don't love Chem Soul at all.
But you cannot deny your child's power. That's the thing I'm getting at.
Yeah, Faith the demon, honestly.
Yeah. The Antichrist coming into the rift, and you're just like, I can't deny that they're powerful, but I don't like that they're powerful. Speaking of powerful, Knight's going to have to back away and use his TP to get back in. He's going to be a little bit late. Yeah. That's a big cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, Rookie is just out trading him in every front in this lane. Consistently, every time Knight steps up, there's a laser in his face. Every single time. And it feels like Rookie is managing this so well. And okay, in fairness, it's what we expect from Rookie, but Knight kind of struggling. And now, the fact that he doesn't have that priority, the fact he has to reset and keep it back in, Karsa's just going to start the dragon, and this should be an easy pickup. This is now 2 in pocket for V5. Pretty substantial advantage. And actually, if you look bot, Zhuo was on a reset. Bot side lean. Oh,
yeah, well, bot side lean, and we're going to see the Slicing Maelstrom used on top side. They know the dragon was taken, so they know it's dead. Zoom flashing away, trying to see if he can stay alive, and he should be able to. There's a kill going on top side. Again, Top Esports not willing to be outdone. They're trading back. They're seeing if they can do something here. Photic going to land it. Ooh. Oh, nice. Ruined the party. Ruins the party.
But Rich actually possibly could have killed Zoom there, right? Didn't connect with the last ult, which was a ton of damage, especially with Conquer Stack. And the last snip didn't really catch Zoom. So Zoom did a good job to dodge away from that, using his mobility well. And First Tower will go over to Top Esports simply because they have the Herald. But on the other side, V5 able to stack a lot of gold on a Photic from the fact that he's taken a lot of these plates solo. A lot of CS zoned away from Top Esports bot lane as well.
Big shift of cash going over to Top Esports. They're only about 1,000 gold lead. Very, very similar tempo to we saw in game 1. Very similar style coming out from both these sides. I will say, though, Photic getting his early Kraken Slayer, has the Berserker Greaves now in the back pocket as well. We actually see the Chemtech onto Karsa as well, to Poppy.
Oh my god, why is it Chem Soul again?
It is Chem Soul again.
Man. I will say Chem Soul gets a bad flack, right? And it's absolutely justified. Zoom?
Zoom is not going to be in a good spot right now. No flash, nowhere to go, and no real way to trade this one back. We'll have the Rocket Belt, and will be taken out. This should be Rookie picking up that quick kill. Xiaopeng is here, but I don't think you want to take this fight. The rest of V5 are coming in. You can see the Poppy will have a little bit of support. Xiaopeng is trading this one out. Rookie has no mana. They will not land the Crescent Guard. So Karsa loses his flash. It was very clutch and gold there for a second, but V5 will get out with the kill trade.
Yeah, so at least Xiaopeng makes them have to burn the flash, right? They're burning something for that, but Zoom just cut out of position. No flash available at the time. Don't think his ult was up either, and he ends up going down to a pretty easy pickup. V5 being pretty proactive on this one, trying to make things happen, trying to lean into these side lanes where they have pressure. We'll see what they end up doing. A minute till the next Herald. I feel like whichever team gets this can use it to break down that mid lane tower, get a pretty big advantage. And we saw, last game, towers taken down pretty quickly, and how that opened up the map pretty substantially.
I mean, the big thing I'm looking at right now is that mid lane gap, and it is quite literally a mid lane gap because you not only went Hex Drinker for Knight, who had an early kill, say the least. He's also behind in CS, but that kill for Rookie now puts into a point when that Dragon does spawn, when that Rift Herald is coming up, and they're even just going to try and Broly Zoom once more. Rookie is here with Karsa, and there's not really a lot you can do here, and ooh, Karsa not quite able to get the knockback there. I saw what he was trying to do. He wasn't looking to try and catch out the Kennen with the knockback. He was looking to try and smite him, slow him down, maybe land the gravity field. Wasn't to be done, but they're getting these small little advantages. They're trying to just keep pressure away from this Kennen.
Yeah, they're trying to constantly threaten Zoom, trying to lean into Rookie and give him resources. You know, there's no objective on the map sort of when they're going for this that they're really trading off. But now, Herald's spawning, and they were just down on the bot side. Top Esports know that, so they can move in. Goal's already been taken, so they do have some vision, some element of control. We'll see how the teams approach this one. See if Top Esports end up pushing into contest. Bear in mind, they have TP available. They have the Slice and Mail Smash. There's a ward. Package available for Knight. And actually, if you can look, there's a ward just there. You can see it, top of your screen, right there. That is a Kennen TP flank ward if I've ever seen one. So I think V5 probably could just back away and accept this one's gone. The thing is, though, because package is burnt now, in a minute's time, Dragon is going to be packageless. So V5 can play for that, right? And that's third Dragon. So nice. Pretty substantial if they're able to secure a soul early. And I feel like without package, Top Esports teamfight becomes quite a bit weaker.
It really does, and with all the time and effort that Top Esports put around setting up for this Rift Herald, it means they're not going to have the same level of preparedness for this Dragon. Rookie is going to start resetting, does not have TP, and honestly, get yourself onto Soul Point. 40 seconds till that spawns. You can see already that Top Esports are saying, look, we'll trade it, maybe even take ourselves an inhibitor turret if we decide to go for it. A Zoom might be in a bit of trouble here. Now notices that there's somebody in the brush and recognizes that Rich might be a little bit isolated, but with both supports from both sides now coming in, they are just pushing in now. 20 seconds till this Dragon spawns. This is actually huge for V5. They have the priority. They're the ones dictating the pace, and there aren't really many places for Top Esports to enter. Yeah, there's not really any TP wards. That's a critical thing here. Is one of the greatest approaches Top Esports can have is a TP ward from Kennen, allowing him to get in. No real passage for that. Oh, they're looking. Oh, that was huge. Keeper's Verdict get a 3-man knockup. The Moonlight Vigil comes in and does a little bit of damage on the backside of that. Xiaopeng goes Ultra. They try to flash in with the Slicing Maelstrom, and the fine Rookie Zoom with the massive play to turn that one back around. Top Esports not done yet.
Yeah, and
Zhuo, very good time. That was perfect timing, if you do want to say the road. As you can see now, Karsa pushing back this Rift Herald and going to smite it away. So they won't be able to get the pressure in mid, but the Dragon will go over to Top Esports. They'll stop the stacks.
Yeah, that's the important thing in this situation. Ultimately, Top V5 end up going for an aggressive play, and as much as it was flashy, right, Karsa getting the triple knockup, it wasn't really that influential, right? It's like you knocked him up with the Keeper's Verdict. What follow-up is there? And I think the thing is, like, he ends up so far ahead. He Chemtech souls forward. If ppgod could get an ult follow-up, that would have been the difference. I actually think he should have just ulted JackeyLove there instead of trying to Dredgeline Xiaopeng, because they end up have to back off. And now they've burned so much to get in range, it's easy for Zoom to fly over and just blow up Rookie. They end up cleaning up ppgod as well. Super favorable to them, and I feel like V5, you had everything you needed going into this play, and you end up throwing it away, stopping the Chem Soul stacking. A little bit unlucky, and we talked about this mid lane matchup, right? Rookie being ahead, Rookie being more relevant. Knight has caught up. He is now 2-0-1 on this Corki, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what happens in lane. If you're playing Corki, you're gonna be broken.
Now Knight gonna find Rich, who has got the Gwen. And they're going to probably force the flash out. Yep, there it is. Knight now without that summoner for any potential fight happening in, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes, 50 seconds. As Knight, Rookie, I should say, pushes in towards that top side. Drops on the Chaos Storm, and actually Zoom needs to be very, very careful. The rest of Top Esports are roaming up, but as are V5. So, Zoom, you are safe, but not that safe, and Karsa will just absorb a Solar Flare and back himself away. While that's all been happening, V5 will be able to push in mid, they will be able to push in bots, so they're getting some good, decent trades, and V5 know they're at a very powerful point. They've got the Rapid Fire on the Jinx, they've got the Riftmaker on the Gwen, they know they can take fights right now.
And the lane assignment just favors them so heavily, right? Rookie would be able to bully Knight out, but against Zoom can't do anything against a Viktor, right? He's just zoned, choked out, has to back away. And Rich, he's threatening Knight. Whenever Knight steps up, if there's a porcelain doll in a brush, Rich will just be there, ready to jump on you. and then can cut you down. And as a result, it's like top esports are just losing pressure around the map gradually. Despite the fact that the Corki's doing well now, it's just this 1-3-1 setup isn't favoring them.
Not favoring him, and that's the big thing right now. So V5, yes, they did lose out in that fight, very over aggressive in that regard, but they are not taking this one lightly. It is still only a 500 gold lead for top esports. There's still 2 dragons here for V5. Rich, not a lot of mana and not a lot of places to go. As Zoom and Xiaopeng, I have seen this combination before. The slicing maelstrom will probably be committed. There it is. Look at the stones down. We will see Rich almost trading this one back equally. As I say that, oh my god, he's going for it. One more auto attack. The Ignite's ticking, and he'll get the healing from it as well. Xiaopeng should be able to turn this one back around, but it's still a 1-for-1 big win for V5, and they know there was 2 people bought.
Oh my god, Rich does it. He manages to kill Zoom. They're not going to be able to do the ban. They're going to back off. Too much poke from the Corki. But Rich, man, I have not enjoyed his play this series. Game 1, a little bit invisible, but he finds the 1v2 turnaround kill. Love to see it. And that's why you got to respect the Gwen, man. That champion is unreal bonkers. And especially in those close range skirmishes, Kennen has damage, but it eventually is going to run out. And the Gwen will just keep healing, keep dishing it out.
And that's the big thing as well, the healing. You mentioned it there. No grievous wounds available for anyone on the side that was in, you know, of Zoom or in Xiaopeng. So
no, not on anyone, to be honest.
Not on anyone's yet, to be quite real. You do have an Excite on Zhuo, so Zhuo will have that eventually. But yes, that lack of grievous wounds to stop that massive healing you get from the Gwen on the Riftmaker is going to be pretty significant. As we saw there, was able to trade it back 1-for-1. There will be no objective taken by, you know, people on V5. They threatened the Baron, but the rest of top esports were in position. And yes, it's a great game from Xiaopeng, 100% kill participation, 2-0 and 3, but this is starting to feel like the momentum is switching back on to V5. Similar again to game 1, top esports come out the gate swinging, able to get themselves in the ascendancy, but V5 crawling it back and just feel more comfortable. And speaking of being more comfortable, JackeyLove, he gets slowed, but Xiaopeng is in tow to make sure nothing bad happens.
Making sure to just ward them up. But V5 being aggressive, pushing up, using the Kennen fog to their advantage, trying to get control of the area. 50 seconds of that dragon. Again, 2 in favor of V5. Secure that, they're on soul point, and it becomes so delicate then. Because anytime, it's like, even if you win a fight, if V5 secure the soul, they have it for the rest of the game. So you don't want them to get to 3.
Here we go.
See the package? Synced up with the dragon. We'll love to see it.
You're out of the bold corner there, Knight. You're no longer in there. So we will see Rich push in towards that top side. It's going to reset, come back in, and maybe have a stopwatch for this impending fight. Zhuo will take a little bit of poke, and they've got Photic and ppgod off to the top side. Karsa taking a little bit of damage, and they know there is a package available. Both teams posturing around this. This could be big for either side, and there's a TP coming in. It's going to be Rich on the back end of this, and he may look for a flank.
Yeah, watch what we can do with the package. It's super impactful on the Corki poke as well. Rich is threatening the Chem Fog. Both top laners just chilling there. We'll see Photic move around. Photic's got a pretty big item advantage on JackeyLove. This Jinx is definitely an issue in this one. That top esports need to solve. Keep an eye on the package, on the Kennen, and see what they can do.
2000 HP, Dragon resets, goes active to the pit. I don't think top esports are going to be able to take this. This should be soul point here for V5. They're going to try and maybe go in and steal. No, it's taken by the side of V5. It was secured. Its next fight can really go in. The slicing maelstrom hits nobody, and Zoom is all the way back out. Knight's been jumped on by the scissors of the of the Gwen as the Poppy goes down. It is a trade in favor of TES. They take 2 for 2 after the fight, but again, crucially, V5 on soul point.
Yeah, that's the important thing. They got the dragon. It doesn't really matter if you lose the fight that much, as long as they're not in a position to Baron, but they end up trading evenly. Critically, Knight's package, you know, was on to Rich, and he ended up in melee range of him. He ends up actually winning out the fight because Zoom comes to help, but I mean, the takeaway from this is initially, like I said, the package is a big point. Ends up going straight into the dragon pit, and it just doesn't really connect with anyone relevant, right? Rich ends up just fighting him 1v1. Right, we can see in this situation here. And meanwhile, Zoom gets locked up by ppgod. So really excellent play to sway the 2 main tools of top esports. You see Rich nearly solo kills Knight. Does end up getting finished off the end. But the thing is, the job was done. The package and the Kennen ult were the big tools for top esports. ppgod completely interrupted Zoom's ult. And Knight just decided to package into a wall. I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it.
I mean, Knight's having a good game. He's 3-0-2, but there have been small moments where we've had to question. This is not the Knight from 2021 summer. This is not the Knight that was absolutely ridiculously dominant in every single matchup. No one could really go toe-to-toe with him, apart from Doinby, again, another fantastic mid laner that we have in our league. So definitely want to see him do a little bit more, be a little bit more impactful, but we come back onto the Rift. It is still only about 1,000 gold lead for Top Esports, but critically for V5, they have the sole point. They are one dragon away, potentially just over 3 minutes from getting that Chem Soul and doing to Top Esports what they did to them in the game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big thing is that if Top Esports want to be winning fights, you want Kennen on a flank in these situations now.
Zoom. He's actually going to get jumped on, but ppgod completely missed the hook. Doesn't get the aftershock. There's the keeper's verdict, though, as Karsa saves this play for V5. That was inspired from Karsa. Was able to isolate someone and trade it 1-for-1. Both supports dead.
Yeah, slams him in a wall. ppgod makes a bit of an overstep, but the trader support is completely fine. See things equalize in this situation. Now, Knight fishing for some poke here. But V5 can just back off. I mean, you're not really playing for anything at the moment other than contesting some vision control. You're 2.5 minutes from Dragon. Baron isn't really going to be on the cards, but it's just constant chem fog. You see people just sitting in it, waiting for anyone to forget and step forwards. It's so suffocating.
I mean, I suppose if you've watched Arcane, it should be suffocating. It is not a nice smell. And as I say, that Knight has no idea, has no clue that they've started up this Baron. Now has an idea as he uses the Trinket, but I think everyone's already committed. Look at that TP coming in now. They know exactly what's happening. Photic down to half HP. Moonlight Vigil comes in, and that's massive from JackeyLove. They kill off the Jinx, and that could be Baron now for Top Esports.
V5 overstep, and they get burned. No Photic makes it so hard to fight, and they're just backing off. They're giving up. I mean, Karsa's got no flash. There's no way to get into the pit unless he runs round. Zoom is hovering on the edge, zoning. They're going to look for something now.
They're going to try and burst him down. They should be able to get him as well. So now it's a 4v4. Can you get into here? But they're going to use the solar flare to stop out Karsa from getting in here. He tries to get in, but he's not able to steal it. He will fall. And that's going to be a 2-for-1 trade and the Baron in favor of Top Esports. One small mistake is all it takes. Top Esports capitalize and punish.
Yeah, ball play by V5. They see an opportunity to sneak the Baron, and that's the cost. It backfires. You end up not only giving over Photic's life, but Top Esports able to secure the back end. 4,000 gold lead, and the Baron now in hand. And the thing you have to ask is, why would you not just wait for Dragon, right? Dragon in a minute, but Top Esports now have a 4,000 gold lead, have Baron in hand. This sets them up to easily contest this Dragon. And V5, you could have just waited for it, right? If you fight the 4th Dragon, Top Esports only secure the 2nd if they get it. You would have secured the soul. And I just feel like that was a massive overstep, a miscalculation, an unnecessary attempt to sneak the Baron. V5 are coming back on the map and trying to establish some control. They will get the Skull Crab, but it might be really difficult to fight this Dragon. The Baron on the other side, but actually, Knight falls forward, but it looks like Rookie's just going to back away.
Yeah, had no mana, wasn't really in a position to 100-0. I'm still waiting on his Chaos Storm as well to come back up. Knight should be able to get the package. 25 seconds until that Dragon spawns, and they're going to immediately TP in towards the bot side. Yeah, honestly, I think V5 got to back away. I don't think they can do much about this, and they're going to have to concede the fact that they're not going to get the soul point just yet.
And that's the thing, right? You forcing that Baron was just unnecessary, and I guess one of the thought processes is, right, okay, they don't have package available because packages sync with Dragon, so maybe that was the thought process of they could try and force objective when package isn't up. But either way, this is going to get secured.
Oh, okay, it was very close, and then we can see the solar flare being used. Flash has to be invested by Karsa to get himself out to safety. They will take the time now while everyone from the side of V5 is mid to take this turret in bot lane, so that's going to be a trade, and you can see already pings going on towards that top side to try and defend it for V5.
Look how strong Knight is, right? 3 items plus the Hex Drinker. He is doing an insane amount of damage. A big one is just an absolute chunk and he's squishy. And that's the problem, right? Is that we end up with this Poppy in the jungle. Poppy is never going to threaten a Corki, right? Unless you're somehow in melee range of him and he tries to Valkyrie when you press W, you really are not going to pose a threat to this Corki. It's only really ppgod, or if Photic kind of gets in range to hit you and can't hit back. But this is the poke Corki, right? You can just fire rockets from 18 screens away and there's no real recourse.
Yeah, Jinx gets 1 rocket, you get 1,000,000 of them, and you do roughly the same amount of damage. So.
No, not even. Knight does more damage,
yeah,
right?
True,
Jinx
true.
only does more than on low HP, right? It's so disturbing.
It is a little bit of an unfortunate setup as a tier 2 in that mid lane is taken down by Top Esports. Again, still 4,500 gold ahead in this game. V5 start to try and ramp themselves up. They have got 3.5 items onto the Jinx. They are looking very good, and the top wave push will get them traded equally enough in terms of the turrets that were taken on either side. This is just becoming another very, very close game. It does become a little bit more about execution and how these two team fights go for it. I need to see Rich doing what he did around that dragon fight, the third Drake for V5, where he was able to get the kill. But now Zoom has Flash, has Slicing Maelstrom, will possibly be able to... Oh my God!
Oh my Lord, what is this?
Lordy! There's so much. Now ppgod's going to find Xiaopeng, and he knows that he has the support. Crescent Guard has to be invested. There is no real objective to take, but a good response here from V5.
Yeah, I mean, they got a big goal, but as you said, no objective to take. They will try and establish some vision control in the Chem Fog area. They want to set up very early for the Baron spawning in 2 minutes. But, you know, Zoom didn't burn Flash or Slicing Maelstrom. He knew there was literally no point. He's dead. Just let it go. Don't burn anything. And then as a result, there's not a massive amount to be gained for V5. They are going to try and push this wave in, but they should just be able to clear it out on the side of top esports. And there's no real threat of a dive. So, at the end of the day, not much gained.
Not much gain. They do get a little bit of gold, as you mentioned there as well. Then bring the gold lead just a little bit closer to each other. Does mean that the extra kill goes on to Rich. And this Gwen is starting to get to one-shot territory. There's not really a lot of people on the side of top esports that can deal with this Gwen, as you just saw there, despite being effectively a full item ahead of Rich. The Kennen didn't do a lot and couldn't do a lot against what was eventually going to be the impending doom.
Yeah, now, I think that's the thing is that, you know, Gwen scales so well into the side lane, but the thing is, like, Zoom is going to be relevant in team fights. And the critical thing is finding the opportunities to execute on that. See, getting deep wards established is really important so that you can find those TP flanks. If he ends up, you know, flashing onto Rookie and Photic sort of from behind, it's just going to be impossible for V5 to team fight. So I'm looking out for that. Also looking out to see what Rich can do in this next fight, but mainly it's just Knight on this Corki doing an insane amount of damage, laying down the poke early. I think the critical thing whenever it comes to these fights, if you can poke someone out beforehand, it makes things extremely difficult.
It's very, very difficult, and you can see now with the Chem Fog, V5 still roaming around, seeing if they can catch someone out in that donut of invisibility they have. Karsa is there. Maybe they're going to catch out Zhuo. Yep, he's going to get right on top of him, and he's going to be able to pop down a little bit of CC. Solar Flare comes out. They're actually going to trade it, though. Jungle for support. I don't think that's worth it for you on the side of V5.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like losing Karsa is a big deal. That being said, it means they lose the vision element of having to support, right? No wards to place down, but Esports are feeling confident that it's going to push up mid. But in the meantime, Zoom is not having a fun time in this matchup.
That's putting it lightly, I think, is the nice way to put it.
Is the guys going to team fight yet? Please, yeah. Anyone?
I suppose that is the one thing that V5, despite, you know, trading a jungler for support, like you said, the vision, it means that top esports are not going to go for a team fight just yet. They're going to wait until that big AoE CC is available so they can make sure that if someone does jump onto Knight or on top of JackeyLove, they can protect them with the Leona. So it delays the team fight just that little bit more. Zonya's now picked up for Rich and for Rookie. They have a little bit more survivability. We're almost back to a 5-item or 6-item Photic. He's got himself a stopwatch, so he's a full item and a stopwatch ahead of his counterpart JackeyLove. And Knight's got himself a package. 25 seconds till Dragon.
Really critical thing top esports did there was they secured the scuttle by the Baron to make sure, because obviously they didn't have their support there to lay down wards. You saw ppgod head over and place the ward down. They have vision off the Baron. No one's going to sneak it here. And now they can focus on the real objective, which is this Dragon. Look at the poke from Knight. This is the critical thing. What can he do with the package? What can he do with the poke? And also Zoom. This man has so much power in his little electric rat hand.
His little Pikachu hands. He's see a solar flare coming out, and that forces the flash away from ppgod. He's not going to have that engaged. Whoa, ppgod will clash heads as they look to try and maybe just trade back a little bit of damage. Now Rich off to the side, seeing if he makes something work. Package has been used as the Chaos Storm as well. They go in. That's the Dragon secured there by top esports. But now, can they get themselves out? We're going to see the flash in, the Slicing Maelstrom not really onto the carries, and that's going to be a good fight now for the side of V5. They take away the Aphelios. They're going to try and take away even more of these lives, and yes, you get yourself onto soul point to top esports, but you're going to lose the Baron.
They commit hard onto the Dragon and they end up corralled in the pit. It's a perfect setup for a composition that has the Jinx, the Viktor, has the Gwen who's onto the back line. Top esports couldn't find a way to approach, and as a result, they get trapped in. Oh, TP coming in.
They're baiting this one. They know that they haven't got everyone there, though, because like you said, the scuttle was taken. As I say that, nice! He gets gravity fielded down, but no, he's able to get the Valkyrie off just in case, and now he can start to use his rockets free-firing on the side. Xiaopeng, however, is not going to have that same luxury. Rookie will clean him up, but the Jinx is excited. Photic picking up a massive shutdown, and that all but secures the Baron and brings them back up level in gold.
They knew they couldn't take it with Xiaopeng around, potentially threatening the smite. They know that Knight's poke was too severe for them to chance it, so they have to go for the pick. Beautiful play from ppgod and Rookie. Great heads up to defend. And we're going to replay of the fight. So first off, Knight obviously gets his package forced by a combination of the poke from Photic and Rookie. He knows if he stays after the zap hits him, he's just going to get bursted. Does get out in time, but watch. They all move into the pits to secure the dragon. And then they end up being trapped here. Like Knight Valkyries, before he gets over the wall, steps to flash away. The Kennen ult comes in, but this good CC from ppgod means it never really hits the backline, and everyone is trapped in the pit. Easy cleanup for the side of V5. Top Esports prioritized the dragon, and they got it, right? But that's kind of the thing. When you're at this point where V5 have had sole point for such a long time, Top Esports have to prioritize the dragon, and it sometimes will cost you the team fight.
Cost you the team fight the first time in this game. We see V5 again with a gold lead. A very, very similar situation, almost identical to what we saw in game one. Both teams on soul point. This time around, though, I will say a triple Chem Soul stack or Chem Dragon stack is massive. It's actually a really big deal. Having that extra little bit of HP shred on people like the Poppy, like the Nautilus, can be huge for something like a Corki and an Aphelios. So should be relevant regardless of what way you cut it. And now both teams seeing if they can make an advantage happen for them. With the vision available now for V5, they're pushing forward, making sure that they can get all these waves pushing in as fast as they can. But this fantastic wave clear available to the side of Top Esports, it'll be very difficult to actually kill off these turrets.
Definitely problematic. And the thing is, it's like Knight either hits the wave, right, or he hits you. And either way, you're not going to be able to push after that. Yeah, or both. The AoE is pretty big. 4 items now. Has the Void Staff for that extra pen. Just needs to finish off his last item, but Knight is still doing an insane amount of damage. As you said, the Chemtech Dragon, sorry, facilitating that, but knock away. Knight's knocked away. He's the wave player.
Massive keeper's verdict. Massive keeper's verdict. That's what the Poppy does, and just able to push them forward. You can see now these health bars are a little bit lower. They can't actually continue onto it, so they're going to rotate in towards the mid lane and just try and take this tower as well. Massive big brain move there from Karsa. Huge hammer to make sure they get 2 inhibitors from it, from that one play.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, Karsa and ppgod can just soak the rockets, right? Karsa's actually pretty tanky at this point. He's fine tanking up. He doesn't care if he gets low. Allows him to take both of those. Both inhibs down. Pretty huge. And with Dragon Soul in a minute 30, remember, both teams are 3. This is guaranteed Dragon Soul. It really all comes down to this. And the thing is, we said about how prioritize the dragon cost Top Esports that last fight. If Top Esports prioritize the dragon again and lose the fight, they just lose the game, right? Double inhibs down, it's just over. Even if there's only like a couple of members of V5 alive, they will easily end with super minions pushing into the base. So it becomes very precarious. Things are stacked in favor of V5, but we'll see how they end up panning out. No doubt we'll have Knight recalling pretty soon, pick up his package. V5 are in the area first. They're starting to establish the vision, and it's so important when you're against a Corki. Try and have vision superiority.
Ooh,
oh, the recall
huge. They got the recall to stop, and then they can push forward. Zhuo has been caught out, and he has to flash away. They get the dredge line out, and of course the ultimate as well from the depths of ppgod. But now everyone's been kind of delayed. Knight will eventually get his package and should be able to get back out onto the map. Doesn't have TP just yet, so he's going to try and run it back. As we now have super minions come in. Knight's in a lot of trouble, but he doesn't get caught out. Zoom does back away as well. Look at that damage coming out from one rocket. AoE'd over on top of V5. Bot wave is pushing, and you do not have a TP there for the side of V5, so they may look to try and just run towards that if they can't take this fight.
Definitely can play on the edge. But you can see Top Esports are prioritizing the dragon once again. Ricky and Rich will back away. They could try and rush for it now, but they don't have any TPs available. I think they're going to commit to the fight.
Have to commit to the fight. The dragon has been started. It's going to take down so quickly. Xiaopeng uses his crescent guard to try and keep himself alive. The package goes in. Secured by V5. Zoom goes in with his own slicing. Nelson to try and turn this one around. But there's a Chem Soul, my friend. Top Esports are going to have to kill you again and again and again. And they just can't. There's Aphelios is trying his very best with his GA. But you are going down. V5 get the Chem Soul. V5 take the fight. And V5 will be sending us to a game 3.
And you can see the damage at the bottom. 5.4k by Rookie. An absolute statement. Decimate on that one. And Photic was there for the clear. They have the minions at base already. TP's going to come in. V5 taking this to a game 3.
I am so happy to be here right now. Game 3 coming up between these two absolute giants. And we get the series we deserve. And at the end of it all, I think we can all very comfortably say in both these games, the MVP has been the Chem Soul.
Oh, I mean, it puts so much pressure on the teams to contest it. It puts so much pressure on the teams to prioritize it, and it just becomes so impactful when it's delivered. Hard to say how that fight would have managed if they hadn't been able to secure the Chem Soul, but